Welcome everybody. In this video we'll show you how to work with the balloon option, how to work with tables, configurations, the exploded view option, how to add hatches to areas and weld symbols. And these are all functions you'll need when working on assembly drawings. So we'll first start by adding numbers. So we're going to go to Auto Balloon here on the top. We're going to click on a view, or we already had this view selected here. And as you can see, SolidWorks automatically numbers all the individual parts. Now we can also add a magnetic line. We can draw a line, click on OK, and then we can draw all the numbers on that magnetic line. This will always attach all the numbers together and makes it a lot easier to order them. You can also add multiple magnetic lines without any issues. Now it's also possible, except for the auto balloon option, to use the normal balloon option, and you can just click on a part and add one number at a time. Now let's re-add the auto balloon to the 3D view here. Let's rearrange it a little bit. Like so. And now let's add a table. So now that all the parts are numbered, we can add a table. So we're going to go to Insert, Tables, Bill of Materials. We can select the view. We can select Bill of Materials hand template and click on OK. As you can see, if we zoom in a little bit, we get an item number which is attached to this number, so the base is number 1. We get a quantity which is 1, so all the parts are only needed once, and we have all the part names. So it's very easy to get an overview of all the parts that are in your assembly. Now, next thing we can do is we can apply configurations. So if we click on an assembly, and you can do the same for a part, you can go to the top here and select, for instance, another configuration. For this configuration, I've cut away 25% of the part. I can do the same in the top view. As you can see, part is now cut out. So we can always activate different configuration. In the part environment, we can also do the same in the assembly environment. Now, I can also apply a hatch. And a hatch is normally applied automatically. So if I have a section view, the hatch is normally applied automatically, and the hatch differs per material. So steel has another hatch compared to aluminium, for instance, or copper. So if I click on Area Hatch Fill, I can then get a hatch area. Here I can select my material and I can click on a face, and the hatch is applied to that face. Now if I were to click on OK, then the hatch is applied to that face, and in this way I can apply a hatch manually. For now I don't need it, and for now I will deselect the configuration and then continue showing you how to apply the exploded view. So let's go back to the default configuration again, and we're going to add an exploded view. To do that, we're going to open the assembly and we're going to go to the configurations tab. So if you're not there, if you're in the feature manager, just click on this little button here, and we're going to right click on our default configuration and say new exploded view. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add an exploded view. So the parts will be spaced at a certain distance. So I can select parts, I can move them up to the left, to the right, and using this method I can space the parts, and then you can clearly see how the parts should be attached together. So I'm going to click OK. And if I click this open, you can see my exploded view is active here. I can right click, animate collapse to collapse it again. So using this you can also create animations how to attach parts together. Then we can save it, and then we can go back to our 2D drawing. We can always go back to our drawing to go to window and open our sheet again. Now let's say we want to activate our exploded view. Let's do it in 3D. So we can click on this 3D view. We can click on show in exploded state, and then we get our exploded 3D view. As you can see now, this shows very clearly how the part should be attached. So adding an exploded view to an assembly model, an assembly drawing, is always a good thing to do. Now the last thing I want to show you how to add weld symbols. Let's say we have a couple of separate parts that need to be welded together. So let's say we would like to add a weld. In this case it's screwed together, so it's not the best example, but I just want to show you how to add a weld symbol so you know where the option actually is. So we're going to zoom in a little bit to this part, and in the top corner here you see the weld symbol option. So if we click on this, the weld option appears. You can see it's attached to my mouse. Here we can specify the weld symbol, so which type of weld we would like to have. If you go into the book, which is attached to your CAD C3 production drawing course, you can always see or look up what all these symbols mean. Then we can add a dimension, and then we can specify a location. And then we can click on OK. And now this is how we can add weld symbols